bulk of my career in the electric utility business. And I'm concerned as I look at what's happening in Connecticut, regionally in New England, and to the country as a whole, as we lose diversity in our fuel supply. The big thing now is shale gas, and I see a lot of power plants either being converted to gas or being decommissioned, and new power plants built that only run on gas. And that rising percentage concerns me, because if we lose some of that gas supply, we're in big trouble.
Sure.
I'm old enough to remember the 73 and 79 oil prices.
Yep.
And I'd like your comments on it.
So I'm old enough to remember those two as well, and I think your point is well taken, but the cow's already out of the barn. Here we are in New England where in excess of 85% of our energy is in fact being produced by some level of dependence on natural gas. And our pricing is absolutely dependent on the price of gas as well, as you know. Before I became governor of the state of Connecticut, we were acquiring about 5 megawatts of alternative energy a year. So adding to the portfolio of about 5 megawatts. As you know and I know, 5 megawatts is nothing. A megawatt has the ability basically to meet the needs of 1,000 homes. So we were, you know, and by the way, homes are not our largest consumers. Factories, hospitals, schools, and businesses are our largest consumers. This year alone, we will acquire 55 megawatts, our contract for 55 megawatts of alternative energy. Things like solar, like wind, like fuel cells. Now, frequently fuel cells are powered by natural gas. I understand that, but it is an alternative level of production, and biomass. And by the way, so that you and I understand each other completely, that's the other reason we should access hydroelectric in New England. If we could bring in a single line, as you know, 1,200, what's the right one now? I'm going to have a megawatts lines, which really, which I think, by the way, in limiting ourselves to 1,200, transferring 1,200 megawatts on any given system is probably lower than we need to be. They do it a lot higher megawatt transmission on the same type of systems in Canada than we do here. And as you know, if it's 1,200, you're actually probably averaging something around 1,000 megawatts being transferred at any time. If we were able to bring 1,200 megawatts in, that's going to have an impact. If we were able to bring 2 points of entry, say one through Maine into northern New England, and one through either New Hampshire or Vermont in southern New England, into southern New England, that will have a very large impact on the mix of energy sources in the state of Connecticut and in New England. So our policy is your policy. We have got to get away from an over-dependence, which I inherited that. I didn't create that. I inherited it. Having said that, you know, price is king, and I'm not going to do some of the things that some other states have done. As you know or may know from your background, we introduced real competition with respect to alternative energy pricing. In 2011, we had, I think, the second lowest cost of acquiring alternative energies. At 12, we did extremely well, and we're in the process of completing a portfolio approach to a large-scale acquisition of alternative energy, which hopefully will be completed in the next 30 days, and then we'll be able to talk about that in greater detail, but far less dependent on gas than